So hey guys, this is Riz and welcome to my channel. If you are new here, my real name is Rizha and I do booktube, I do faith-based content, and some random things. I try to upload every week or every other week. So for this week's content, it's gonna be interesting guys because someone suggested over the comment section of one of my videos. She said, "Memories, please recommend some good Pinoy writers po. Interested kaayo ko sa Philippine literature." That's from May Rain, Kate Briones. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's spelled May as in M-A-E, then R-H-A-N-E, Kate Briones. So I hope I'm pronouncing it right. So as a backgrounder, I really wanted to make this list short. Pero dun ko na-realize guys na sobrang andami palang magagaling na authors sa Pilipinas, both writing in English, Filipino, and regional languages. So I really tried my best to group them together. Siguro yung iba I tried to mention or discuss them for another set of video na rin siguro. So thanks Mayrain for suggesting this. At least may mga idea na rin ako kung ano yung mga feature content para sa booktube. So first of all, sorry dahil ngayon ako nagka-time na mag-shoot and mag-edit para sa content na to kasi life has been busy. She suggested this over a week ago na, but then, New Year and holiday season happened and it was crazy. Masyadong busy, masyadong maraming ganap dito sa bahay and medyo maingay yung bahay. The past few nights, it has been raining. Just like tonight, umuulan guys. I hope hindi nyo naririnig. So on this list are the authors that I personally enjoyed. Most of them nabasa ko outside of class and only about 2 or 3 of them are I think I read during classes dahil required sila. But at the same time, I would imagine myself reading these authors and their works and also enjoying their works, even outside class. So let's start now. The first person on the list is Isagani R. Cruz. He is a Palanca Hall of Famer and he is also an awardee of C-Write or Seawrite. Generally, he is a cool person. I happened to meet him sa isang event sa UP Mindanao and guys, we took a selfie together. The best story that I think captures his coolness as a person is Once Upon a Time, Some Years From Now. So it is a short story that I first encountered sa wait lang guys. Sa librong ito, New Voices in Southeast Asia. I personally liked Once Upon a Time, Some Years From Now dahil meron siyang futuristic, sci-fi-ish na feels and meron din siyang dark, not necessarily dark. The humor that he has sa story na to, I think it best reflects how cool he is in person. So he's also known for other short stories. One of them is What I Did Last Summer, another Palanca award-winning piece. So the second person or second author on the list is Dom Simafranca. So I first encountered his works through this book called Unusual Treatment. So the title of this book is from one of the short stories that he wrote, yun nga, Unusual Treatment. And I think it is the story that I enjoyed the most. Dun sa lahat ng collection niya, there's about like 8 stories on this book. Ayan. And I was so lucky to have the opportunity to meet him sa isang event, I guess, dito sa Davao. It was an event about writing sci-fi, science fiction. And what I liked about his works is that they centered around the genre sci-fi and he makes the most out of folklore. So there's a combination of folklore-ish, sci-fi-ish touch on his works. And I think his ingenuity kind of reflects the kind of field that he belongs to. Kasi aside from he is a professor in Ateneo de Davao University's Creative Writing Department, he is also a professor in computer sciences. Chika ko lang guys, when I met him, I made sure to let him sign his book. And fun fact, he wrote a dedication twice. The first time is when he dedicated this book for my uncle, who was the one who gave me this book. And the second time around is, baliktad pala guys. Ito yung sinulat niya para sa grand uncle ko, to Karl. To Brother Karl, with my deepest respect and gratitude for your work on Mindanao. You're a light for us all. Dom. And look at his signature, guys. Parang face. Kasi nga, diba, I don't know if I mentioned a while ago, he's also an illustrator, an animator at the same time. Yeah, and he wrote another dedication which was for me. And he found it really funny, guys. Sabi niya, first time niya daw na mag-sign ng book twice. And what he said here was that, Teresa, here's to handed over book from your uncle. So that's the thing about secondhand books. You get to have the same book signed twice. So that's kind of funny. And what was nice is that it helped me start a conversation with Dom Simafranca, who was very down to earth and very kind as a person. So the next person on the list is Ricky Lee. So I first read him on one of my classes. The first book of him that I read, I think, was Trip to Quiapo. Guys, umuulan, guys. And even if it was just a school requirement, and we were just required to read a few chapters of this textbook for us, for our script writing class, I still decided to finish the whole thing dahil alam kong maganda siyang libro. Even if it was written in Tagalog, it was really easy to read kasi tingnan nyo guys, medyo punit-punit na siya. Na-remove na talaga yung whole thing. And ayan guys, may mga highlights pa and mga annotations. It was still fun to read kasi masyadong maraming, I guess, like pictures, illustrations, some snippets, mga snippets ng mga classic movies sa Pilipinas that I haven't watched yet. And marami ring mga lines from those movies that would really entertain you on the process of learning script writing. And also his other novels, Para kay B and Amapola sa 65 kabanata. I also read them for class, but I still think that if I happen to have the time to reread them, I would definitely enjoy reading them over and over again. Of course, I would recommend Ricky Lee dahil when it comes to fiction writing, I think Ricky Lee still does well. He always writes in Tagalog. That's a fun fact. Even if he majored on English literature, he still chose to write with Tagalog as a medium. And I think that's one of the things that I like about him the most. And now let's proceed to the fourth author or fourth person dito sa list na nagawa ko. That person would be Karl Gaspar or Melchor M. Morante. I would recommend you guys to read his writings, especially this 3. So the first book that I have read nakatahan niya is How Long. This is the collection of his accounts while he was inside the prison during the Marcos era because he was one of the political prisoners of that time. Another is Si Menda ug ang baganing gitahapan na mao si Mangulayan. I guess this one is the first book that I have read in Binisaya. And what I liked about, I think generally, all of his books contain a lot of good illustrations na kahit pa you are reading prose, there are still pictures that would help you along the way. So ito yung mga sample ng mga illustrations na meron siya. So ito guys. Actually, marami pa akong libro niya sa shelf ko, but I personally picked these 3 books kasi these are my top favorites sa mga works niya. And the latest book that he published and he released during this quarantine season, guys, he managed to publish this one. The title is Mga Lumadnong Sugilanon nga Mahinuklugon. Again, it's written in Binisaya, and let me show you some of the illustrations that he incorporated. So guys, So what I liked about this author is the extensive research that he does for him to be able to produce this really good works, guys. Kasi baka na rin siguro he's from the anthropology field and he tries to merge both the academe and creative writing. And the thing about this author is that he always tries to release something new every now and then. Like every year he produces 1 or 2 books. And if you're interested to buy this book, it is still available. You could DM the publisher. I would link their Facebook page below for you to contact them. So the next author on the list is Miss Griselda Yabes. I own 2 of her, novels. And the latest one would be Battle of Marawi. So I heavily recommend Miss Griselda Yabes. So just like how Karl Gaspar puts too much effort on his research on the anthropology side, Griselda Yabes also does a lot of research just to write these novels, because she's also a journalist. And just lately I made this video. I think I reviewed this one, so I could just put the link of those videos below. So if you are into war fiction, I think this one is a must read. So novel na to, guys, masyadong detailed ang war zone. Like literally, she describes or she mentions kung anong mga klaseng baril, anong mga klaseng weapons ang ginamit during that siege or during that war in Marawi. And kudos to the author, she really did a lot of effort para mahukay lahat ng mga accounts, mga top secrets sa war, and she used those things as a material para mabuo yung novel na to. So I wouldn't dig much deeper. Maybe later I would do another video just to critique and review this book. The next author on the list would be Leoncio Derriada. So I first read his work with the title Road to Mawab through this book, prize-winning Asian fiction, and I think it's one of the works that helped me on my thesis process or thesis writing, kasi his subject matter is focusing on Mindanao. He also focuses on the places that he has been to dito sa Mindanao, just like Mawab and Davao. He's also a Palanca Hall of Famer, and he is also known for his work Dog Eaters. And marami pa siyang works na I think must read, no? Hindi lang para sa mga Mindanaon tulad ko, but also for a lot of Filipinos and non-Filipino readers out there. So the next person on the list would be Adam David. One of his works is Subversibo. It's a comic series. And ito yung sample, guys. Meron akong printouts kasi we happened to discuss this sa isang subject namin sa creative writing. I think it was pop literature. I still enjoyed reading it. Even if I am not a fan of comics or hindi ako masyadong well-read when it comes to comics, I still enjoyed Subversibo, guys. Okay, by the way, Subversibo is written by Adam David, but it was illustrated by Marvin Malonzo. So what I liked about Subversibo is that it is inspired, or not just inspired, but it is based on Rizal's works, El Filibusterismo and No Limitangere. And what they did was just reimagined parts of it and added new elements to those works by Rizal. And what I like the most siguro is yung mga, aside dun sa mga crossover, meron din ata silang, what do you call that, guys, when illustrators include characters from the real world and incorporate it on the fictional world? Nakalimutan ko na kung ang tawag dyan. But yeah, maybe I'd talk about it on a different video na lang, because I happen to have this paper as an analysis of Subversibo. Maybe later in life I'd have time to share it with you guys. So yes, I haven't read any Filipino comics aside from just a little bit of Trece, kasi it happens to be included in this collection Manila Noir. So let me just show you parts of it. So yun lang din yung mga nabasa kong comics, guys. Yung mga included lang sa mga collections. I didn't really try to follow 13, yung comic series, online or the hard copy ones. So I think Adam David is worth following as an author. Kasi he also tries to influence other writers out there, budding writers. He gives so much effort on introducing the world of Xeroxography. He and Conchitina Cruz, I guess they were around. They came here in Davao when I was still on my second year in the university, and they were the ones who really pushed or introduced the world of Xeroxography, or kung familiar kayo with literary zines. So another person that I would recommend is Miss Luna Sicat Cleto. She wrote Typewriter Altar. So what I liked about her writing style is that her prose is very poetic, guys. And imagine, guys, I just happened to read its English version or yung Typewriter Altar. Kasi yung original work ni Luna Sicat Cleto is written in Tagalog. The original title of her work is Ang Makinilyang Altar. So if the English version is already poetic, how much more yung Tagalog version niya, diba? So there's this one YouTube video where she talked about the process of making this novel. I think I could link it below. Tingnan niyo lang, guys. The next person on the list would be Dean Francis Alfaro. So he's widely known for his works that circle around the genre speculative fiction, but I only happen to read a few of his works that circle around horror fiction. So I read his work from this anthology, Demons of the New Year. By the way, guys, wala siyang kinalaman dun sa New Year. Happy New Year. Wala siyang kinalaman sa New Year, guys, but I think the editor of this collection just wanted to capture the whole theme of the collection, which is the 20th century Gothic, parang ganyan. So Dean Francis Alfaro's work on this collection is Brother and Sister. It's relatively short, kaya din siguro hindi ko masyado na-appreciate yung work niya. And baka din siguro I'm not really into horror fiction or gothic fiction. I don't know, I just grew out of it, I guess. And siguro sa season ng buhay ko ngayon, I don't think I need much of goth or horror reads. But Dean Francis Alfaro is widely known because of his work, Kind of Stars. I don't know if I read it already for class, but I think I have not. Yeah, because I couldn't remember any of it. But all I know is that that's one of the many stories where he did really well on writing. Another person on the list would be Karlo David. He is also a Mindanaoan writer, and his works are readily available on the internet. He's also a Palaka Award-winning writer, and he focuses on writing poetry, plays, and short stories. I already met Karlo David on one of the workshops that we had for journalism. It wasn't a literary workshop, guys, but it was a journalism workshop, and we happened to have this segment where we could join a discussion on literature, and Karlo David happens to be one of the speakers who talked about poetry. And I also met him again virtually on a virtual book launch of the latest book of Karl Gaspar. Just lately, he wrote this collection, which he made available online, I think both on Wattpad and his website, and I could just link it below. So basically, that collection is a collection of short stories that were meant to be best enjoyed by K-12 students. So he crafted it in a way na there's this short story, and after that short story there are some guide questions that students could answer later on and would serve as a guide for their reading and their analysis. And I also have a few of special mentions na mga works dito, guys. Let me start with Smaller and Smaller Circles. We also read this for a class, and it is written by F.H. Pataka. And you should read her, guys, kasi she's really good in writing. She's really good, I guess, when it comes to writing noir-ish kind of works, and she really did well on writing Smaller and Smaller Circles, na kahit pa I happened to read it just for the class, I still enjoyed it. And I think if I would reread this work, I would still like enjoy reading it. Kasi by the time that we read this, finals na yun, guys, and I think there was already this like time constraint, or we were already pressured to finish it right away. And I think it's worth it to reread over and over again because it's really good. Another work that I would like to flex would be this collection. The editor is K.S. Cordero. I forgot his real name, but K.S. Cordero is a regional writer, so he writes in Bicolano, I guess. So let me read the title of this collection. It's called An Satuyang Kakanon sa Arol Dao, or in Tagalog, Ang Ating Biyaya sa Araw-Araw. So gusto kong i-flex at ipakita yung librong ito. Kasi it's a collection of songs and masyadong artsy. Tingnan nyo, guys. May mga illustration siya, guys. Let me look for a really good illustration. So maybe later I'd find time to discuss this collection of poetry. So another author that I would recommend for you guys to read is Mr. Donpagosara. He writes poetry, and he also translates plays of Shakespeare. And if you are familiar with Vagina Monologues, he also translated that into Binisaya. So he's a writer who writes in English and in Binisaya. So those are the authors that I included on my short list. So don't worry, guys, I still have a lot of authors in mind, a lot of works in mind. And I think it would be best if I would just shoot another video or create another content that would include other works and other authors na I read during class and still enjoyed. And I would also create a video where I include my to-be-read pile or to-be-read books that are written by Filipino authors. And I think I have to finish this video already kasi it's starting to rain all over again kasi it has been raining all night. So I am encouraging everyone, whether you're a Filipino or not, I would really encourage you to read a lot of works written by Filipino authors that are not just writing in English but also in Filipino and in regional languages, just like Binisaya, Hiligaynon, and other languages that we have in the country. Naway na-enjoy niyo yung video na to, and maraming salamat sa mga patuloy na sumusuporta. Maraming salamat sa mga patuloy na nagsasubscribe, nagko-comment, nagla-like ng mga videos ko, even if I only upload content every now and then or every week. Maraming salamat pa rin. And if you are new here, I am encouraging you also to subscribe if you like contents or videos like this. So I try my best to stay consistent on uploading content every week. So mulit-muli, ito si Riz, laging nagpapaalala na patuloy na magbasa, magsulat at magmulat. God bless.